Hello everybody. Yeah, just here, just going to throw some sort of slightly bowly plates. Let me just take the camera off the tripod here and just show you that I've already started and thrown one. So you can see it's a plate not with a very wide, not very wide at the foot, not too flat a plate either. A slightly bowly plate that will have a trimmed foot, and yeah, just thought I'd have a go at doing some of those. Just had the inspiration, as it were. So let's just bring this down a little bit. So we'll start there. I've got a few balls to throw here, so we'll make this just start like that. Yeah, thanks for joining us. These lumps are 1.5 pounds, and they're going to be thrown 8 3/4. 8 3/4. So let's have a go, see if I'm any good today. Haven't thrown plates in a while, so I'm a bit rusty, you know. Yeah, let's just talk about them as we go. So bringing up the clay. Bearing in mind the width here, I don't want to push this down now and make it go really too wide. Okay. So coning up and centering down. Okay. Now I'm going to break in and begin to feed the clay out, you see. So take it a little bit high, maybe. I'm not throwing these to a gauge, I'll just measure them. So that's 8 inches. We need to go a little further. So I've got to pinch as much clay as I can. These are not really what I call heavy plates, you know, they're going to be fairly lightish. Yeah, still got to go a little further. Yeah, when you're throwing plates, I don't like flat plates. I like plates that have got a little bit of depth to them for a couple of reasons. Yeah, for a couple of reasons. One, they fire better in the kiln. That's almost there. Almost there. Yeah, they fire better in the kiln. Yeah, they're not such a high casualty rate with a slightly bowly, deeper plate than with a flat plate. Okay, just something to bear in mind. Yep, that's good. And the other reason is I like a slightly bowly plate, because if you have a little bit of liquid, you know, with your food, a little bit of juice, it contains it better than a flat plate, you see. And another thing to think about is that plates, as they dry, they lift. So think about that. In the drying process, a plate will lift up like that. Put my throwing stick in at the base there, just these are going to be trimmed, so cut them off. Let's see if I can get them off the wheel. See, what you should do with plates is really throw them on bats, but I'm just, you can see there a little bit of the form of the plate. Okay. Right, let's put it back on the tripod here. That's it. Okay, now we've got to lift him off and get him over there onto the wear board. I cut him off, didn't I? Yeah. Okay, so it can be a bit tricky to do this if you don't know what you're doing. And I can't say that I know what I'm doing necessarily, but there we are, we did it. There he is. So actually this second one that I threw, oops, I'll have a look at he's marginally flatter, isn't he? He's not quite as deep as the first one I threw. All right, so the idea with these plates is that the trimmed foot will have in the foot ring, hang on, let me show you, I've got a plate up here. This is a similar kind of plate, and you see the foot ring. Well, if you cut this foot ring a bit deeper, you can put a couple of holes through here, you see, and then you can put a hanger, and you can hang the plate on the wall. So that's the idea, that's what I'm planning to do. Right, let's bring the camera in a little bit, not too far, mind. Don't want you to see too much of my mistakes. All right, there we are. Quick sip of tea. All right, let's go. Yeah, have a go at doing plates. These kind of plates, bowly plates, supper plates. Supper for la sopa. Yeah, I haven't made any plates for a while. I'm a bit out of practice, I'll be honest. But okay, so look, breaking in now. I want to pull this clay. I want to pull it out. You see, like this. Pull it out. feed the clay out, you see. Don't go too flat, keep it up, let it come up a bit. Alright, at this stage it's going to look more like a bowl, a real bowl. So I'm going to make these for once firing, raw glazing. So, let's just measure that, have a look. It's probably way under, yeah, it's like 7 inches. It's got to go. So I like to have a bit of a, you see this bit here, where you get a transition from the curve here, and there it then goes flat. You know, this bit is, that's where you want to leave your stones and pips and bones and the bits that you've chewed and spat out and all the rest of it. That's where you're going to put them, you see. Okay, so I'm a little bit high at the minute. Okay, so I'm going to just, as I come wide, I'm going to bring it down a touch. Not too much, but just. Like that. Yeah, let's go measure that now. What do we got? Hang on. Can't read it. Cannot read it. It's 8.5. Supposed to be 8 3/4. We need 1/4 of an inch. We have to muster out of this guy another 1/4 of an inch in width. I'm pulling the clay here. And now pulling it down a touch. Did we get it? Did we get it? Ooh. We almost got it, not quite, just a touch more. Yeah, these are kind of not all that easy to make in a way because they're a little bit narrow in a foot, you see. And I just feel like I've gone a little bit too, yeah, would you believe it? I've just gone a little bit too far now. And I think I've overstretched the plate. In other words, it's now a little bit like dicey that it could flop. That's the problem with plates, you see, they flop. So what you want to do is here, you want to make sure you keep that concave, if you like, if you're looking from the inside. If you're looking from the outside, convex. Keep it convex there, because that convexity or the concavity here will support the rim here. Okay, so I've got a little bit of a problem with this one. I'm going to show you how you can overcome it. Raise it up. Okay, that should raise it up a touch. I'm just thinking actually what I should be doing, I should be throwing these to a gauge, I suppose. Because, you know, when you're throwing to a gauge, let me just pull back the camera a touch here. When you're throwing to a wrong way. Yeah, when you're throwing to a gauge, you somehow visually see where you're going and you kind of adapt to the pull how much you need. Well, if you're not pulling to a gauge and you keep stopping and starting and measuring, you lose a little bit of your fluency. So what I'll probably do is set these to a gauge. In actual fact, I'm going to use my this guy just to. You notice I've got my finger here, just on the underside. Perhaps it'd be better if I did it here actually. Yeah, wind is blowing. We've had snow here like everybody else, I guess. In the northeast. Yeah, so let me just put a stick in underneath. And leather the guy. Yeah, I think I'm making them a little bit too narrow in the foot, be honest with you. Let's whip the camera. Oh, what's that? Keep knocking that thing, get out of the way. That's it. Let me just show you. So you know what I'm talking about. As you can see, that's quite narrow foot, you see. So you have to think when you're throwing a plate, what support you've got right there where my finger is. Now if you don't have enough support there, you see the wider you go, the more vulnerable, and this edge here wants to drop down onto the wheel head. Okay, that's what I'm talking about, keeping that curve there going like that to give it support. It's the same principle as the Roman arch, or why the egg is strong in the palm of your hand. If you try to crush an egg, it could, because of its shape, you see. Okay, so let's get him off. Always have the wheel just going around a little bit like that when you cut off, and then straight through. Let's see if we can get this guy off without. So I want to get underneath it, you see. We're cutting a corner here of throwing, you see, without throwing onto a bat. And this one here looks wildly bigger, doesn't it, than that one and that one, but they're not. It's not. It's just, it's an optical illusion because of the wide angle of the lens. So yes, that last one I've thrown a little too narrow in the foot. Okay, so you just have to learn that, don't you? Learn as you go along. Okay, so I've got a couple more to do. Hey, thanks for joining us, folks. Please visit my website, simonleachpottery.com. And I have got workshops which are filling up slowly, but they are filling up. So if there's a date there that you'd like, it's a hands-on workshops. We take a maximum of 6 people, usually more like 5, but we can take 6. And here, Central Pennsylvania, please come and visit us. There's bed and breakfast here in the town. And come and spend a weekend practicing with me and with the others. I think you'll find it beneficial. Leach treadle wheels, I'm taking orders. If that interests you, write to me. I guess that's about it, folks. Just keep practicing. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.